Good morning, everyone. Well, I have to say it's pretty cold here in my study. I've got the heater full on, but it still feels cold. No doubt the children in our fellowship are out there with their sledges enjoying the snow. It's amazing the way the snow kind of covers everything up and makes it look nice and fresh and clean. Many of you know that gardening is not my strong point. Let me tell you a story. A number of weeks ago, Karen and I decided that our patio needed to be weeded, and I decided that the best thing to do was to get some really powerful and really strong weed killer and spray it. And so, trying to get brownie points, what I did was when Karen went to work, I filled up the sprayer with this latent weed killer, and I began to spray our driveway and our patio in the back garden. Now, what I didn't realise was that as I was spraying it, I was walking forward and all of the weed killer was going in the bottom of my shoes. And I knew that one part of the garden on the far side needed to be weeded, and so I walked over to that part of the garden. And yes, you've got it, I walked right across our grass with the most powerful weed killer on the bottom of my shoes. And what it looks like now is it looks as if a snail has gone across the garden. And so every day as I look out, I'm reminded of my mistake. And that's why I'm really glad that snow has come for a couple of days, because when you look out at our back garden, it looks crisp and pristine. But I'll tell you this, as soon as the snow goes, the evidence of my mistake is going to be there for all to see. And in the coming year, we're going to have to get some new turf and try and lay some turf in the garden. I sometimes think we do that as human beings. It's within our nature at times. Our natural drift, our DNA is to cover things up. And that was true of Adam and Eve in the garden, where they hid from God. And there is something within our nature that sometimes likes to not be true, not be upfront, but hide things. And whether that's just pretending that everything's okay when it's not, or it's not sharing our views, for example. Sometimes when I made a mistake, I've kind of covered things up, or at least, the very least, what I've done is I've tried to justify my actions and explain it, and it's a form of self-protection, isn't it? But it's part of our nature. Our nature is to hide, our nature is to kind of gloss over things. When we're asked our views, our nature is not always to be upfront and honest, but sometimes to hold back. And yet it seems to me that the more we do that, the less authentic we actually become. The more we do that, the less in-depth relationships we can have. Our relationships largely become superficial, and even as Christians, we tend to live lives where at times we cover everything up. And maybe that's the challenge for us this year. You see, Jesus was a man of truth. Jesus spoke the truth. Jesus embodied the truth. Jesus lived the truth. And that was one of the things that attracted people to him. He was totally authentic. And maybe that's a challenge for us going into the new year, that we might be more authentic. Can we be more honest? Can we be more vulnerable? Because it does take vulnerability to have real and true relationships. Can we be more authentic? Because one thing is true, the more I go on, the more I continue to realise that I might hide stuff, but God knows about it. I might look at my life and it might be covered like in snow, I might think that, but strip the snow away, actually there's some footprints in the garden. There's part of it has died. And so Jesus encourages us to be more upfront next year, more honest, more true, more real, more authentic. I really hope you can have as good a new year as is possible given all of the circumstances. Again, a massive thank you to everyone who's made this year possible, who's helped, who's encouraged, who's prayed, who's supported. I want to thank you for the opportunity and the privilege of being your minister. God bless.